sometimes, the work is so, you try to be true. You feel sometimes it's on the verge of a kind of craziness, but it isn't really craziness. It's really getting the truest part of yourself out, and it's very hard, I mean, it's not easy, let's say. And yet it can be very simple at the same time.
Hi. If you're watching on YouTube, you can actually see me through a video this week. If you're not, then thank you anyway for being here, and thank you for watching or listening. I am here to talk a little bit just about where I'm at and where I envision the podcast going in the future. I've been using this eclipse time to really reflect a lot on what I want to put out in the world and how I need to make some changes to align with that. So we're going to talk about that a little bit. I'm going to talk about what it means. I'm really bad at holding the mic whenever I'm looking at the video. I'm going to talk about what it means to be on a spiritual path and where I'm at with that right now. So if you're interested, I do have a few episodes of my old podcast available on my Patreon for free that talk about my spiritual journey in depth. And it's been a few years since I recorded that, so things have changed a bit. But overall, that foundation that I started with remains the same. So if you want to listen to those episodes, my old podcast is called Sex Work for the Soul. It is only available on my Patreon for free, though. So if you'd like to listen to that, you totally can. I'm going to give a condensed version here. But for those of you that don't know, which a lot of you probably don't because I haven't really been showing up in this way, I'm a tarot reader. I used to offer readings to my OnlyFans subscribers for a couple years, and it was really fulfilling. It was very interesting to meet people where they were on their own spiritual journey because people were at a lot of different levels. Some people really didn't have much experience at all with any kind of spirituality, and they were just a little curious and wanted to see what tarot was about. Other people either read tarot for themselves or were just interested in finding some kind of connection to a higher power in some way because maybe they left a religion or they have never really had that kind of influence in their life before, and they heard my story and wanted to connect with me about it. Because if you don't know my story, I was raised Christian until I was around 8, and then my mother pulled us out of the church we were going to because it was right around the time of 9/11, and our reverend unfortunately started sharing anti-Arabic sentiments. That's the word. I'm trying to do this all in one take. We'll see how that goes. But yes, so we were taken out of church. I just have some formative years where we went to church every single week and we went to all the big holidays and everything. And then we had nothing. And I became an atheist by the time I reached 12 years old and kept it a secret from everybody because it was like really, really taboo in the town that I grew up in. Everybody was Christian and white. And if you were not, that was a problem. So I did not tell anybody except for a few close friends that I did not believe in God because it was so taboo to say that. Until I got into college, and then I shared that with a few people in like our little freshman inquiry class. And since then, I was probably an atheist for about like 5 or 6 more years. I'm closing my eyes trying to remember because it feels so long ago. I'm 32 for reference. About to be 33 pretty soon here. Gemini. Woohoo. So when I reached my mid-20s, I started really seriously looking for some kind of spiritual path. And I had been interested in a few different Eastern religions for a while. Shows like Avatar: The Last Airbender and a bunch of different anime that I watched growing up really opened me to the ideas of like Buddhism and chakras and just energy in general. I mean, even DBZ, watching DBZ as a kid, I think they call it chi or ki in that, like life force energy that they use to make their power balls or whatever. I was super into DBZ when I was really young. And those things kind of gave me a formative like interest in energy work. So even Full Metal Alchemist. Actually, my one tattoo, which is on the back of this arm, is the alchemical symbols for the elements. And it's an homage to Full Metal Alchemist and also Avatar: The Last Airbender for the element aspect of it. And so those things really brought me into the consideration that maybe it would be nice to have some kind of something to look towards instead of nothing, like I had been an atheist for so long, for like 15 years. And it's right around 27-ish when I started doing sex work, actually. It's whenever I started looking into witchcraft and spirituality in general. And since then, I have done a lot of exploration throughout that. I am a witch. I definitely practice witchcraft. I don't practice as much as I used to, and I'm trying to get back into it a little more. I've had a tough year when it comes to spirituality. I lost a lot of faith, I think, part and due to the things I was going through and just the external world, just people making you lose faith in humanity. But this year I'm really on an intentional journey to kind of come back to my witchcraft roots and find what it is that I'm meant to share from my spiritual journey, because I've learned so much. And in my own life, in my personal life, I've really seen the benefits of what I've learned. Been in many situations with loved ones where the things that I've learned along the way have really enabled me to move through difficult situations with much more ease, much more compassion, and just mindfulness with intention. I'm not as reactive as I was before. I'm still reactive. I've got an Aries Mars in the first house. So I'm still got my moments where I can't stop myself before I lash out. But I've learned a lot and I want to share it. I have not been giving tarot readings for a few years. I've been doing it here and there for a few people, but I really kind of stepped back from doing that because gaining more visibility through TikTok and growing my brand with that has meant that there are more haters, more eyes on me that are judgmental and creating a less than ideally safe space for me and the people that I want to connect with on the internet in my little community. So with that visibility, I've had to kind of go back into my shell a little bit. And I do think I needed to do that for a while. I think that was a good decision for me. But at the same time, it's really held me back from from having the confidence to share this stuff that I've learned, because I know I can help people with it. And I know that I have the ability to share information in very concise ways. I got a teaching degree, guys. I'm a good teacher. I am. I just don't give myself enough opportunities to actually teach anymore. And I think that that's because any former teachers can probably relate to this, because I've had a few conversations with other people that have left education behind as a career path. When you do that, you kind of lose a part of your identity, because being a teacher is such a strong career identity path, okay, for better or for worse. And you get so attached to whether you're working with kids or adults, you get so attached to the students that you're working with. And to leave it behind is heavy sometimes, and you kind of grieve it a little bit. So it's been difficult for me to put myself in a teacher role again. But for anybody that's interested in numerology or tarot, my life path number is 5. My tarot life path card is the Hierophant. My birth card for the tarot deck is the Hierophant. And the Hierophant is essentially the teacher of the deck. So I know that I have to push past my blockages that I have around this, because I want to share with you guys what I've learned and how it's changed my life. And not in a way that's like, oh, you need to find God. Come and listen. I'll show you to God. No, I'm not trying to do that. I'm like very much not trying to do that. I think that anybody can benefit from the lessons that you learn in the kind of spiritual exploration that I've done. And you don't have to believe in anything in particular other than energy. The fact that energy exists and that it can be manipulated to our benefit or our detriment. That's really the only foundational belief that I think everyone should try to get towards in order to understand how spirituality really works. But I digress. I'm in this space where I'm really considering these things, and I'm trying to figure out how I want to show up online. And it's become apparent to me, of course, during the eclipse season. Astrology girlies get me. It's been very apparent that I need to reassess some things. I'm literally sitting with my journal right now with a yes, maybe, and no list that I'm trying to make myself do, so I can reassess what I am here to share and what I want to talk about. Because sometimes I let that reactive Aries Mars within me drive the ship, and I don't know where we're going, and we might be going in circles. And now is the time to kind of plot out the journey a little bit more intentionally, to pick the titles I want to give myself, because I have worked very hard to learn a lot, and I certainly have learned so much. And it's time for me to really figure out what that means and how I can share it. And I know I've said that in so many ways already. The reason I'm talking about this today is because I want to share some of the plans that I have for the podcast, which include some monthly returning themes. I definitely want to have Dante on again. If you haven't watched the episode that I did with my partner, I really encourage you to watch it, because it was really, or listen to it, I guess, if there's not a video. But I really encourage you to listen, because it was super fun for us to record that. And I'm excited to have him back on again to answer some more sex and relationship questions and other things. But we're going to start with that. So I'm very excited to have him on in future episodes, maybe monthly, maybe bi-monthly, can't decide. But there's that. I'm also going to be doing a little series called Love Letters to Your Sun Sign. So every month, whenever the sun season changes, I'm going to be giving a little love letter episode to the sun signs for that season. So this first one will be Aries. If you didn't know, Aries is the beginning of the astrological wheel. So it's the first zodiac sign. So we're starting brand new with Aries. And I'm actually going to be moving episodes to Fridays. If you didn't know, each day of the week has an astrological correspondence, and Fridays are Venus Day. Venus is the planet of love, beauty, relationships, all kinds of things. Aphrodite is the goddess you may think of when you think of Venus. And Friday is a great day for all things to do with love. And I want to put this podcast out there to the universe with so much love for everybody that's listening, because I really appreciate you guys for being here. I don't know what the hell I'm doing. So it's so nice to have people that are just here along for the ride, that are open-minded and so kind And I'm just so grateful for you guys that I want to put a little intention behind the day of the week that I'm putting out the podcast. And so know that every week my episodes will be coming out on Friday with the intention of giving you so much love and energy towards the weekend. I also like posting on Fridays because I feel like as a podcast girly, as a person that listens to a lot of podcasts, I never have new episodes for the weekend. I always get through all my new episodes for all my shows. By the time I get to the weekend, I have nothing to listen to. So maybe I'll be filling that gap for you. We'll see. I'm very excited to start with Aries, though. So this Friday, you'll get an episode from me, a love letter to Aries. Other than that, I'm going to be doing a little fun episode every month called the Hyperfixation of the Month. I might be renaming that. We'll see. But we're going to be talking about some stuff that's just on my mind. They might be spiritual. They might be, it could be related to anything, really. I think the first thing I'm going to talk about is the Telepathy Tapes podcast. If you haven't listened to it, you should listen to it. It's pretty mind-blowing. It's very, very interesting. If you are a person that is skeptical about paranormal things, it's a really great series because they have a lot of scientists, a lot of, I think they are parapsychologists. They have a lot of different people across a lot of different expertises, helping with the study of these children that seem to speak with telepathy. So that's all I'm going to say about that. But I'm going to be going off on tangents. Once a month, I'm going to let myself go off on a little tangent to share something that's been on my mind that maybe you guys would be interested in listening to. And other than that, we're going to have some guests. I won't spoil that too much. We're going to have a couple different guests on the podcast in the future. If you are someone that's listening that has your own podcast that would like to trade episodes, let me know. Hit me up on Instagram. My Instagram is Musings with Mary, nice and easy to remember. But I would love to have more guests on because as a Gemini sun, I love to yap with people. And I think it's so fun to just talk about deep topics. So if you have something deep you want to talk about, hit me up. All right. So that's my little update for now. I will have that love letter to Aries episode out on Friday of this week. So you get 2 episodes this week. I hope that you enjoyed listening to them. Thank you so much for being along for the ride. Like I said, I really did do this in one take and I'm not going to edit it. So I hope it turned out okay. Thank you if you're watching on YouTube. This is the first time I'm recording a video, so hopefully it worked. And I don't know if I'll do this every single week, but you know what? I have a nice, pretty little setup in this room, so I'm just sitting here in my little sweatshirt. I'm not really going to dress up for these. Sorry. The podcast is my time to relax and unwind, so you'll be seeing Relaxation Mary each week if we have videos every week. Not holding myself to it yet, but we'll see. Let me know. Comment on the video over on YouTube if you'd like to be able to watch me during these episodes instead of just listen. Just let me know. All right. Before I keep rambling forever, I hope you guys have a great rest of your week. And make sure to check out Sex Work for the Soul over on my Patreon for free if you're interested in learning more about my spiritual journey. And I will see you guys for the next episode. Thank you so much for watching. I appreciate you. You can visit xoxo.com to see all of Mary's links. Make sure to subscribe to the podcast on all your favorite listening platforms. And if you feel inclined, leave a 5-star review for us. Musings with Mary is listener sponsored, so if you'd like to support the podcast, please check out our Patreon. Shout out to all our current patrons. Thank you so much for the support. We'll see you in the next episode.